What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Badly content. In today's video, we're going to be taking a little bit of a rewind from yesterday's video that was in like the rank 17-18 range. And I'm going to be talking about one of my new favorite Great League teams that was originally supposed to be an Alolan Sandslash line, but let's be honest, Umbreon is just the best safe swap right now, being able to draw out those Medichams and free up the room for Alolan Sandslash. So let's jump straight into these battles here. We'll talk about the team because, as you know, the Umbreon matchups can be kind of grindy, so we'll just have a chance to talk about them when we get there. So, first lead, we're going to have the Alolan Ninetales on the other side. With this kind of matchup, I always want to make sure I stay in for at least one fast move to make sure that I know what my opponent's fast move is. If they're running Powder Snow, I need to bail. Probably into Umbreon just to try and see what I can lure out, like a Medicham or something. But if they're running Charm and they're staying in, that has to mean that they're core broken in the back. So what I'm doing is I'm actually, instead of going straight for Poison Fangs in this instance to do more damage for wing attacks, I'm actually trying to go for more damage in the case of energy management, right? Because I'm trying to make sure that I'm timing my moves correctly and not giving my opponent free energy. And in doing so, they decide to try and catch a Poison Fang on the Politoed, but instead I am, because I'm, trying to deal with good timing here, I end up over-farming a little bit past their swap, and I'm able to bring my Umbreon into the Politoed. And I don't throw a Poison Fang here because I feel like there's a chance that they may be weak in the back still to Golbat, so I want to keep my energy handy in order to make sure that I don't end up, taking a Medicham's Ice Punch or a Psychic because they got a chance to farm me up or something. So, Umbreon is going to do some work here against the Politoed, and this is exactly why I love Umbreon so much. I'm a long-time user of Umbreon. My opponent then swaps in their Alolan Ninetales to try and get some charms in, but thanks to the fact that that matchup just took so long, my switch clock was up, and Alolan Sandslash can now just come in and farm all the way down. And now, I'm going to find out what exactly in the back did not want to see my Golbat, and it's a Medicham. So, I'm going to throw a Drill Run right away, get some damage off, and then my Golbat is sitting in the back with a whole Shadow Ball loaded. My opponent is completely shields down, and they just swap. So their switch clock is not going to be up to allow them to catch this move. So I am going to clap this Medicham's cheeks with a Shadow Ball, and then I'm going to get to the Poison Fang before the Politoed can get to any other moves, and that's going to be a good game. So well played to my opponent there. Again, just the Golbat core has core broken so many teams. And Medicham is everywhere, guys, to be honest. Like, Medicham is quite honest. I got to get used to my new edit. Medicham is everywhere. Okay, so you might have seen a short recently on my channel. I've started producing some shorts. They're not super high quality because I'm really not that good at video editing, to be honest. So, if you guys see any shorts of mine, let me know if there's any useful resources that I can go find to try and make them better, because I've got ideas, but I'm not really good on video editing, nor do I really have the time to do it. But maybe sometime in the future I'll be able to. But so as you saw in the short, that was a neutral lead into the Deoxys. They decided to bail immediately into Dugong, which kind of gives me a read that there's another ice in the back. Potentially could be the Alolan Sandslash. So I keep Umbreon in the back, and I put in my Alolan Sandslash for two reasons. One, I know I can soak a Drill Run from this matchup because a Drill Run from a Dugong does not one-shot. And two, if the Umbreon is still in my, my back line, it means I can save it for an Alolan Sandslash, which typically they run Shadow Claw, which gives Umbreon an edge in that matchup because it's just taking Ice Punches, which really isn't that much, or Drill Runs, which also aren't that much. But Umbreon's going to come in here to start doing some work against this Deoxys because I would like to not have to absorb a Thunderbolt or Psycho Boost on the Golbat. If I bring a Golbat here, I'm forced to just shield. So by absorbing some energy off the Deoxys and then coming in with Golbat, yes, I'm still going to eat a Psycho Boost, and it hurts. But now whatever Ice type they probably have in the back is going to get a lot less farm. And actually it's becoming a Wall Rain. So not quite the Alolan Sandslash that I was expecting, but all the same, I have to finesse this a bit with my energy here. So I can take an Icicle Spear. I don't know if I can take two now that they've been buffed. I can kind of take two, but it's going to be close because of the ice or the Powder Snows. So I'm going to throw with good timing here, and I'm going to try to overload on energy. I'm going to let them throw one more move here, which they I don't have a choice though. But and after this, since I know that they have to get to another Icicle Spear and 5 Powder Snows, I'm going to throw 3 Snarls, which is going to be just under that limit, allowing me to get this Foul Play off, which will take out the Wall Rain, and that means I have as much energy as I can possibly hold to get to this, to get to the Deoxys and get to a Foul Play. But they have energy loaded. Psycho Boost, literally leaves me with a sliver of HP. For Umbreon, I guess that's probably like 5 or something, if I'm being honest. But we're going to be able to take out the Deoxys with some key energy management, and that's going to be a good game. So moving into the next one here, we're going to have Golbat against the Medicham. And spoiler alert, this is literally like 4 Medicham leads in a row. Like, everybody has Medicham. So the nice thing here is that if a Medicham's not in the lead, Umbreon will typically bring it out. And there is also some video, some footage here of the Umbreon safe swap doing its job. Unfortunately, these were some like rank 12 battles, so I was still sifting through a majority of the people in the rank, but they've got a Sableye in the back, so I'm not really sure why exactly they... I mean, I have to imagine their core broken. That's the only reason I can imagine someone stays in with Medicham. But they swap in their Sableye, and so I overfarm until they would get to the foul play. I catch it on my Umbreon, and now my Umbreon can dominate this Sandslash, can dominate the Sableye. So what I'm looking to do here is, because I have just such a huge energy lead, or not energy, HP lead, I should say, I can take the return, and I can overfarm still, and what I want to do is I want to have energy to deal with some damage against the Medicham. Now, why? Because if I let this matchup draw on a little bit further, that means that Medicham gets less farm when it comes in against my Umbreon, which is ideal. I don't want to have them come in to my Golbat with like 2 Ice Punches loaded, because that's just a death sentence. So my opponent instead brings in a G-Fisk, and at this point I'm like, why didn't you switch in your Sableye right away? Instead you wasted half of your Medicham, and I don't know. So I'm not going to be able to mind read players. You know, everyone plays how they want to play, and I respect it. But sometimes I do question the plays and I'm not in a condescending way. I think that everyone is going to have their own thought process, and it's going to be different than mine. I think that's just the end of it. So I'm over farming here, and my opponent just brings in the Medicham just straight up, and I'm like, nah, I'm going to bring my bat back in. Big old bat has a Shadow Ball ready for you, and my opponent shields up the Shadow Ball correctly, and I have no shields left. So here's the deal. I make a huge misplay right here, because I don't get to this Poison Fang. I go for the move right away like an idiot. I was counting the G-Fisk, and I know that they were right up to an Earthquake. I should have overfarmed and taken that counter damage. I don't know why I didn't, because I know that I could have gotten up to 2 moves and eaten that counter damage just fine. 1 CMP against G-Fisk, and I would have been able to win that. So that's me reflecting a bit, and I would have been able to win that game, but I misplayed like a doo-doo brain. So good game to my opponent. They took well advantage of my misplay, and they made a very nice play on top of it. Now in the next game we get another Medicham lead. My opponent does safe swap into their G-Fisk, and I'm gonna get a Poison Fang off here, and the reason why I do this is because it actually does make the Umbreon matchup a little bit more bearable. And I will shield up the first move, because typically they'll throw the Earthquake, and if I can shield the Earthquake correctly, I basically guarantee that I'm going to get switch advantage here. So, which is what I need, because I cannot, under any circumstances, allow my Sandslash to be stuck up against that Medicham. So, I'm taking whatever precaution I can possibly take to prevent that from happening. So, now that I've got such a nice energy lead, I am actually going to look to possibly farm down here. Because the G-Fisk is at such a low HP, and I can easily tank 1 more Earthquake if I want to, and that will actually give the Medicham a lot less farm. Again, like we were talking about last time, we don't want to give them a ton of farm that allows them to get to, you know, a Psychic or an Ice Punch, especially when I'm already down shields. I really need to maintain the switch advantage with as little energy difference as possible. So I'm going to go for a foul play and a last resort. Last resort actually does a tiny bit more damage than the foul play would in neutral situations. So I wouldn't use the last resort on like the regular. I would still go for foul play because it's better damage per energy. But in an instance where you're only going to get to 1 of those moves, last resort's the one to go for. So we've got a Charizard here, and I'm going to call a bait. I'm calling a Dragon Claw, because I'm like, look, you're either gonna hit me with the Blast Burn and use up more energy, or you're gonna hit me with the Dragon Claw and I'm gonna live this. So I'll go for another Poison Fang, and then I'm gonna come in with my Sandslash, because I do remember that Medicham is low. They are within range of me taking them out potentially with a Drill Run or something. So I'm gonna farm down the Charizard. I'm gonna go for as many Shadow Claws as I feel like I can before they're gonna get to a charge move. I know that they don't run Power Up Punch or Dynamic Punch normally, but I'm not willing to take the risk. So Golbat in the next game. Good game to my opponent, by the way. Good game. Medicham here once again. The opponent comes in with a Noctowl, and I'm going to do the same thing as I did last game. That's why I love Golbat so much. And Golbat did recently get a silent buff with the Poison Fang damage buff. So Sandslash got obviously the Drill Run. And as I was saying earlier in the video, this is actually supposed to be an Alolan Sandslash video, but I mean, Umbreon just put in so much work, I had to move the spotlight over to that. Plus, everyone else already did an Alolan Sandslash video, so are you really going to click on, like, the 15th Sandslash video you've seen, or are we going to watch some masterful Umbreon action here? I mean, I think I know, but yeah, stay hydrated, folks. So, Noctowl is going to be able to get me pretty low with the Sky Attack. I do believe I would have possibly won the farm down race there. My opponent gives up Switch to bring the Medicham back in, perhaps trying to lure out my Golbat, which they'll do successfully because, again, I need to make sure I get this Medicham off the board. I can't overstate enough how important it is to get the Medicham out of the game because Alolan Sandslash gets eviscerated by counter damage. It's just so necessary. So Poison Fang's going to take it out. I did shield that up. I'm going to go ahead and throw a Poison Fang into this. Looked like a Wall Rain. I didn't get to see the image, but I saw Powder Snow and it's a Poison Fang. It gets shielded into the Wall Rain, and I'm going to go for another Poison Fang here. My opponent may not be paying attention to my energy, or not, I don't know, but they shield again, and I'm like, okay, that's fine with me. Now, Alolan Sandslash can come in and just Drill Run this thing. That's a lot of, yeah. And then they realized that they kind of messed up there by throwing on the CMP, and they tried to undercharge to give some farm, and then they reset their debuff, which is a very smart idea by my opponent here. Unfortunately, the Noctowl does get farmed down completely without being able to throw a move, so I'm going to be able to go for double Drill Run and end this Wall Rain and this game. Well played to my opponent. They did make some very good moves there, but unfortunately, the advantages that I had already obtained throughout the course of the battle just added up a bit too much in my favor there. So, Azumarill is another one similar to Alolan Ninetales. However, I am not looking to stay in if they swap in a Lantern. So, but Azumarill I will stay in for just because it needs to stay off of my Umbreon. Now, the reason why I don't stay in and throw Poison Fang into the Lantern is because that's basically giving them a whole free charge move. And I don't want to take super effective damage if I don't have to. So my opponent's going to go for Thunderbolt, and I'm just going to continuously go for these foul plays here. Umbreon, I believe, I haven't actually played this matchup out a whole bunch, but I do believe that Umbreon does win in the zeros if my opponent goes straight Thunderbolt rather than going for Surfs, which they appear to be doing here. And with good energy management, again, I can't say enough how important that skill is. It's energy management, timing, things like that. Now, I make a huge mistake and I go for CMP here. I absolutely should have just gone for the extra Snarl and just let it go. But what I didn't want to do there was I didn't want to shield, and I did not want to give the Azumarill a bunch of farm. So in this case, I actually just decided to no shield and say I'm just going to leave it up to chance and see what's in the back. Maybe they're double, maybe they're not, you know, strong against my bat in the back. And my opponent brings in the Azumarill afterwards, which was really strange to me. I'm thinking they might be weak in the back again to Golbat. And I'm just going to have to see what happens. Because at this point, I know they've probably got Ice Beam, and they come in with Medicham. And here we go once again, ladies and gentlemen. The Medicham is on every team. If you can play a team that is able to successfully clap it, there you go. And my opponent just decides to surrender because they realize that the game is over. Well played to them. So Dragonair, this is a tough lead here. Alolan Sandslash is ideal here. Umbreon can definitely deal some damage to it. But Golbat, I'm going to stay in and I'm going to throw Poison Fang because the Poison Fang outpaces, and I'm either going to get early shield or I'm going to be able to get a nice chunk of damage off of this Dragonair, which now just kind of puts it down into a farm range for Sandslash, puts it in a real easy range for Umbreon too if I need to. But we lure out the Medicham, which is exactly what this team is designed to do. We're using Golbat on the safe or on the lead, and then Umbreon is the safe swap here, the star of the show. If you didn't know, fellow trainers, a good ranked Umbreon can beat Medicham in the zero shield situation if the Medicham is running Ice Punch Psychic and does not get, like, go for like a defense drop with the Psychic. If they go straight Ice Punch in this matchup, they're either forced to dump their energy or they are forced to shield. And the thing is that I only lose this is in the zeros because I took that damage earlier from the lead Pokemon. So, yeah, my brain farted. I completely forgot they had a Dragonair in the lead. I ate the Aqua Tail earlier from the from the Dragonair, so that's why. If I had to have that HP back, if I safe swap my Umbreon right off the bat, I think I do it in the next game, you're going to see, Medicham actually has to go down to shield in order to win that matchup. So, unfortunately in this game, though, my opponent has an Ice type in the back, and my Golbat just can't handle it. Plus, they've got 2 shields, so I'm just going to eat it, dude. I'm gonna try and play out. I don't think there's any way. Like, I'm trying to get to a Poison Fang to a Shadow Ball here. I don't think there's any possible way that I could win this game anyway, so it doesn't matter. So, well played to my opponent. They team comped me in the back here. Not much I could have done about this one. The Dragonair was nice. This is a new, like, RPS-y sort of team where they're doing, like, instead of Basti and Medicham in the back, it's Dugong Medicham. I mean, it's a strong team for sure. So my opponent safe swaps an Alolan Sandslash, and trainers, this is a very huge mistake. Even though I don't have a hard answer to Alolan Sandslash, never safe swap a Pokemon that is double weak to a common typing, right? If Medicham's on every team, if you safe swap an Alolan Sandslash, you're just asking to get farmed down for nothing gained at all. You're not going to get a shield off the Medicham. You're not going to get anything else other than just give them a punch of free farm. So do not ever safe swap Alolan Sandslash. Don't safe swap Obstagoon. Don't safe swap most anything that's just double weak to common typing like fighting. My opponent is shielding, and I think they're trying to win switch. I don't know, maybe they made a mistake. They may have made a wrong tap or something. It does happen, but they try to catch on the Medicham here. So I'm gonna let them catch it. That's fine. I'll come back in with the Golbat and then go for this Shadow Ball, I assume. I don't think I'm going to go for the, I don't go for the Poison Fang. Go straight for the Shadow Ball here. And that is going to take out this Medicham or get the last shield from them. They decide to let it go. And my opponent's going to come back in with the Sandslash, throw an Ice Punch. I now know I can farm down because they're throwing their other Ice Punch. That's all the energy they had. So I'll be able to farm down. And now this is a really good spot for my Golbat to be in. Is even though this, I think this is a Dugong because I didn't see Powder Snow that time. Even though it's an Ice type, I can go for double Poison Fang, and I think I had almost a move on the late night video. Folks, my brain turned off a while ago. I've been doing some coaching today, and it's been a day. By the way, if you're interested in coaching, not like that was a really obvious segue or anything, you can hit me up on Metafy. I have a link in the pinned comment in the description, also up on top here. My wife is laughing at me in the background because I'm an idiot. If you're looking to get some coaching, you want to hit that next level, next rank, or just improve your gameplay overall, I would be happy to help and give you a shot at, or give me a shot at helping you coach. I can't speak to this. Just leave me alone. She's laughing. English is not my thing. All right, just bite me. All right. You want coaching? Go to Metafy. Look me up, dude. I got a pinned comment, and I've got it in the description. That's all I got. So here we go. My opponent has a good lead in the Alolan Sandslash, and I safe swap in my Umbreon, and now the Medicham comes in. You're going to get to see how Medicham does have to go to a disadvantage in order to win this matchup. If I get one Snarl in before they swap in, I can get to this foul play before they can take me out. You're going to see. Also, patreon.com/XehrFelrose. You're going to be able to find a good batch of goodies there as far as getting access to teams like this before they hit YouTube. My Patreon group has been shredding with this team all week, so just a really great group of people as well in there. Great place to get tips, strategies, and early analysis on the meta. You can see that my Umbreon just got the free shield, and now my Golbat gets to come in and farm down. I will have to shield back or decide to find out how much an Ice Punch does, and it does that much. I couldn't remember how much it does, so I had to just take it for science. And because of the farm I got from the Medicham, I can now come into the Sandslash and shoot off a Shadow Ball, and I'm either going to do a lot of damage or take another shield. They decide to not shield it, and now it's a 2-to-1 shield, my Alolan Sandslash versus my opponent's Sableye, and because I have a 1 or 2 Shadow Claw advantage here, I'm going to be able to land a Drill Run, and I would have been able to get to a second Drill Run there before they had been able to get to another move. But now, I'm going to be able to farm down because they will not be able to get to a foul play in 3 more, and that's going to be a good game because I can just farm this down for a couple Ice Punches. But my opponent decides that instead they're going to close the app, which is one of, I don't know why you guys, I don't know, I shouldn't say you guys. I don't know why people do this. Like, what's the point, dude? Just top left or finish the battle. You're not getting out of anything any quicker. So here's a Charizard lead. I'm going to treat this the same way as the Dragonair. We have this person throwing a Dragon Claw, this is a non... I don't need to shield this. I know it's not going to KO me. The Blast Burn is what I was worried about. My opponent's just going to go for the Dragon Claw. I'm going to throw the Poison Fang, try and get an early shield or some big damage, and my opponent then swaps in a Drapion. So I'm like, okay, I'll give this a shot. I'll go for Poison Fang, and then they throw on 4, and I'm like, oh, goodness, they have Aqua Tail. That forces me to shield, so good call by my opponent, but I'm going to go ahead and catch the next Aqua Tail on my Alolan Sandslash. I have Drill Run, and I have Ice Punch. Those are two moves that are pretty decent against a Drapion, despite me being at a shield disadvantage, and despite the fact that they can outpace me here, which is a very difficult thing. But I have to also remember here that their poison stings are doing literally like 1 damage each, because Steel double resists the poison typing, which is going to allow me to get to this move here before they get to another Aqua Tail. I am still looking to overfarm a bit. My opponent comes in with a Charizard. I'm going to throw the Ice Punch right before they would get to potentially another Dragon Claw. I didn't think I could farm down. I probably could have in hindsight. And then they come in with a Swampert, so I immediately just bring in my Umbreon, and we're just going to see if we can make some kind of magic happen. So my opponent's going to go, I think they go for an Earthquake here, which hurts like a truck. Dude, all right, Umbreon is not happy with that damage. That's 2 Earthquakes is going to KO. And normally I wouldn't know how in the earth I'm going to be able to do this, but I'm going to go for another Foul Play. I'm at this point, my opponent could catch, so what I'm doing is I'm waiting until I see the second Mudshot animation begin, and then I'm going to tap on the Foul Play in order to throw it. Now, my opponent does get to this Earthquake here. They decide to just go full send the Earthquake. I don't know if Foul Play, or not a Foul Play. I don't know if the Hydro Cane would have KO'd from that range. Probably would have. My opponent goes for that. And I'm going to bring in my Sandslash because I know I have a little HP, but I can get to an Ice Punch if I need to. My opponent has to throw the energy. They go to the Aqua Tail, and Golbat is going to be able to farm down thanks to the Poison Fang. Going to go for the Shadow Ball, and we're going to take out the Swampert despite my inability to speak tonight. Have a good game. Well played. By Swampert. Well played to my opponent. Anyway, guys, that's one of my favorite new Great League teams. I feel like you could probably climb in the open league with this team once you get your elo, which I'm getting close. I hit rank 19 today with some sets. Battles are going to come out tomorrow on the channel. So, yeah, tomorrow or Thursday. I don't know. Pick one. Whatever. You won't pick one, I'll pick one. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and let me know in the comments how your week is going in GBL. Thank you all so much, and you have a great one. Bye-bye.